If I want to be married, I don't walk around with a fucking wedding dress on all day, going to work with a veil on. I'd look like a fucking lunatic. But that's what acting as if is. Hi guys, hi, with a wedding ring and an engagement ring. Hi, coming into work with a... People would lock you up. You get sectioned. That's acting as if. I just have to imagine in my mind, I'm married. Imagine my husband sitting next to me watching Netflix. Imagine him going, get me a cup of tea. Imagine my ring. Married. Didn't have to do anything. Didn't have to look like a loon. All right, guys, let's do a Loz lesson based on a question from the Subconscious Loz Squad, which is where I take the Loz lesson suggestions from now. And it's this. Can you talk more about why it's so important to slowly catchy monkey, that's an expression I use, and allow things to unfold on their own when there is movement? So what this person's asking is, why is it wise to allow, when you're manifesting, allow it to unfold? Now, I say slowly catchy monkey. It's kind of an old dating term. My mum used to use it. So you don't try and catch the monkey. You allow the monkey to kind of slowly come to you and then you catch them, right? So I'm not talking about it in dating terms like that. I'm talking about allowing, and I'm talking about unfoldment. Now, why would you allow something or let things unfold when you're manifesting? Well, it's to do with trusting. You've got to trust that what you're manifesting is going to come about. You're not going to push it. You're not going to try and catch it. You're not going to try and chase it. You're not going to try and do things to make it happen, especially, and as this person put, when there's movement. So my last video, if you watch my last video about when there's movement and then it stops, it's all about the awareness that you had that caused the movement, meaning things started to manifest. And then you started to have a bad awareness, a negative awareness that caused the movement to stop. Now, in this case, this person's asking, why is it important not to push it, to do things, to just let it happen on its own, in its own time, in its own way? As Neville Goddard teaches, in the Bible, it talks about it comes at its own appointed hour, meaning everything has its own time. And some people call that divine timing, but you're divine, therefore you determine the timing. But you're determining the timing by allowing. You're not pushing it. You're just trusting it'll come in its own time, in its own way. So can you see the difference between pushing for something and just trusting it's going to come? You could set a time limit if you really want, but sometimes when you do that, it makes you freak out when it gets close to the time and you can't see anything movement, and you can't see anything manifesting, you start to freak out. The art of allowing is the actual art of trusting in the unseen. You can't see anything, or you can see slight movement, but you're trusting it's happening and you're not going to push it or try and do anything to make it happen or participate in the 3D in any way by doing things instead of what you should be doing, which is all manifesting is, which is doing in your mind. Now, what's the difference? What's the difference between doing out here and doing in your mind? Well, if you're doing something out here, I just went and took my laundry off the clothesline. I was doing that action. I went out into my laundry. I opened the laundry door. I went to my washing line. I took the laundry off and stuck it in the dryer. I did that. Now, if I just imagine that, I could close my eyes and imagine myself walking to my laundry, opening the door, taking down the washing, putting it in the basket, closing the door. I just imagined that. I still did the same thing, except one was actually in the 3D and one was in my mind. Manifestation is just in your mind. My mind didn't know the difference then between what I just imagined. I literally could just see then my laundry, the washing line, and me closing the door in the same way that I just did a moment ago. My brain doesn't know the difference, okay? So if your brain doesn't know the difference, you have to trust that the things you've imagined are going to come about. You don't have to push it out here to make it happen. Once it's happened in your inner world, it will reflect your outer world. But if you don't trust that, it won't. Now, why won't it? Because you are literally saying it's not happening, or it's not going to happen, or I don't trust you, mind, to manifest this for me. So that's why slowly catchy monkey is so important, because all I'm saying when I say that is don't push it or try and do anything to make anything happen, because underlying pushing or doing anything to make it happen is a lack of trust in your own imaginative, creative act. That you are going to manifest it in your mind and it will come about in its own time, in its own way. You don't worry about the how, you just allow it to unfold naturally. Right? Something happened for me in the last couple of days and I'll do a whole video about it. But I literally got people to do and say things that I wanted them to say. I had written it in my journal and they literally said it word for word. And this was like a dramatic, really urgent circumstance. I didn't do anything in the 3D to push anyone to say anything to me. I just trusted that they would say these things and these things would occur that I had scripted and imagined. I trusted in the outcome. I allowed it to unfold in its own way, in its own time. And then it did, in quite record time, like literally a day, right? Some of you don't have that level of trust in your own imagination because you don't quite get yet how this works and you don't trust that it works. If you had the same level of trust that I do, things would manifest for you a lot fucking quicker. And when I am in a dire circumstance, like I was the last couple of days, I can manifest things so fucking fast. I actually can manifest things, I know this for a fact, when I'm in a desperate, if there's like a dire, I can manifest quick. And you know why? Because I really concentrate and I really do the work. I really imagine, I really think the new thoughts. I really live in the new story. I am determined to be only in the new story because I know that if I don't and I go back to the old story will manifest. And when it's a dire circumstance, you don't want the old story to manifest. So when I am in that kind of state, I literally manifest so much quicker because I'm in total trust mode that this is going to come about because I need it to. Right? Some of you are different. Some of you manifest things faster when you've forgotten all about it. I'm not like that. I actually manifest, I can do either, but either way, I have a level of trust in my own power that a lot of you don't yet possess, and that's the problem. You get triggered by your 3D and what you've seen, and you won't trust. You'll get triggered by circumstances, and you'll go back to your old thinking. You'll get triggered like a bitch and undo all the wonderful imaginings you were having that was causing movement or causing it to come about, and you literally stop it in its tracks with a lack of trust. Now in Don't Be a Triggered Bitch right now in my squad, in the Subconscious Laws squad, we are doing this latest course of mine. And in it, I teach you how to calm yourself down in part 2 using emotional regulation and other techniques like really identifying and diffusing your triggers, so you don't fuck it up and you can allow it to unfold and you don't try and do anything or push anything in the 3D to make your manifestation happen, because you can't make it happen in the 3D. That's not how manifesting works. You literally can't do anything in the 3D to make it so. And so many of you don't get that. That's when you get law of attraction people telling you to act as if. Acting as if is bullshit. Like, you don't act as if, you think as if. There's a big difference. If I want to be married, I don't walk around with a fucking wedding dress on all day, going to work with a veil on. I'd look like a fucking lunatic. But that's what acting as if is. Hi guys, hi, with a wedding ring and an engagement ring. Hi, coming into work with a... People would lock you up. You get sectioned. That's acting as if. I just have to imagine in my mind I'm married. Imagine my husband sitting next to me watching Netflix. Imagine him going and get me a cup of tea. Imagine my ring. Married. Didn't have to do anything. Didn't have to look like a loon. Now, if I was trying to imagine being married, how do I allow that to come about? If I am with a specific person at the time and I am boyfriend, girlfriend with them and I really, really want to get married to them, do I constantly keep bringing it up in the 3D to give them the hint that I want to be married? I'm a fucking girl. Of course, he probably assumes I want to be married. He's not fucking dumb. I don't need to say, hey, babe, what are your thoughts on marriage? Do you think we'd ever get married one day? And fucking ridiculous. All you need to do is see you and him married. What would you be doing what would imply you are married? Well, for me, it would be a ring on my finger, living in the same house, sleeping in the same bed, children, perhaps, and anything that would imply marriage. I don't have to tell the guy that that's what I want. I don't have to do anything to make it happen. I don't have to give the person an ultimatum if you've been together for 2 years and it's suddenly your time and you think it's time you got married. You don't give them an ultimatum. You just imagine yourself married. You allow it to unfold. You slowly catch the monkey. Because you trust the monkey will be caught. You understand? A lot of you don't trust that you'll catch the monkey. A lot of you think this is bullshit. You'll try manifestation techniques for a while until it stops working for you or it doesn't work, and then you think this doesn't work, and then you start pushing things in the 3D to hurry it along, or because you don't believe this is actually going to work. If you don't believe this is actually going to work, it won't fucking work. Unless you've really imagined so strongly before that it still comes about. You can still have a lack of trust, I guess, and you've already had imaginal acts and they still come about. That has happened for me and other people, but it's better if you trust it. Because otherwise you kind of undo it. You're kind of sewing the dress and then you unpicked it halfway through and you're starting at first base again. You're starting at the start again when you don't have faith. Faith in what you can't yet see, but you trust it's coming about in its own time, in its own way, the how, you let it unfold. Right? Unfoldment is a trusting. And you've got to question yourself, guys, and understand that your reactions to life are because of a lack of trust. That you're going to get what you want, aren't they? If you're really fucking honest with yourself, when you last got triggered by something, was it because you felt out of control, that you couldn't control the situation, or you weren't going to get what you want, or you thought that person was doing something to you you couldn't control? Yes to probably all of those 4 things, which is a lack of trust and faith in what you're trying to make come about. So say I am in a situation with a specific person and we've been together for 2 years and I'm expecting marriage, and I don't know, one of my girlfriends gets engaged. And I've been really trusting in my mind we're going to get married, and I'm having imaginal scenes and I'm seeing us together and I'm just trusting. I've never brought the subject up. But one day, one of my best friends gets engaged and I get triggered by that because I think, why her and not me? They were only together a year. We've been together 2 years. What gives? And then what do? I get triggered and I have the conversation. I have the talk. And I'm saying me. I don't do this, but you have the talk. And then are you trusting in the unseen if you have that talk? And what's the talk about? It'll be about, babe, when do you think we'll be getting married? They were only together for a year. We've been together for 2 years. What gives? Or however the conversation comes about, it is you unpicking the dress you were sewing, the dress of marriage, the dress of you and him together. And you just start slowly unpicking it. And guess what he might say? Oh, babe, but 2 years isn't that long. Or we're not financially ready yet. I'm not set up yet. When we're set up. Or I didn't think you wanted to get married. Or I'm not really the marrying type. Or aren't we good how we are? And then you just be like, oh, why did I open my big fat fucking mouth because of my triggers? I need to control myself. I need to trust myself that I can manifest this without opening my big fat mouth and doing something. I've got to allow it to unfold, but now I've fucking set myself back. I've unpicked my whole outfit and now I'm back at square one. Great. Good on you, love. Guys, you've got to trust that this works. If you don't, you'll do silly things like that. If you don't, you'll get triggered and break up with them or give them ultimatums or blame them for not being ready, or they've got to get their shit together, or I'm going on a break because you need to clean up your act, or you need to sort yourself out. If you're ever one of these dumb bitches who says, I used to say this, you need to sort yourself out. No, I needed to sort my brain out. It had nothing to do with the poor guy. Guys, Are you allowing it to unfold if you're doing anything like that in the 3D? If you're having talks with them, telling them off, telling them how to be, breaking up with them, having the talk, or anything of the above that sounds like that in any other scenario, like going to your boss and demanding a pay raise, or begging your parents for money, or in any scenario, if you do something to make it happen, you aren't trusting in the thing you were trying to manifest, the money, the promotion, the marriage. And you've got to trust and allow it to unfold, and trust that it will unfold, but it might happen in its own time. The way you make it go faster is what I said. You really live in the new state, like I did in this dire circumstance, and you don't allow the old story thoughts to pop in. Because I knew if I allowed the old story thoughts to pop in, I'd fuck this manifestation up. So I had to really be in the new state. And if you can ensconce yourself in the new state, guess what? It happens super fucking fast. If you don't know how to do this, guys, if you still get triggered like a bitch, if you don't know what's actually going on in your subconscious mind, come and join us in the squad at the moment at subconsciouslaws.com. You just follow the prompts from the membership page to my Facebook group. So once you've paid for the squad membership, either $50 for the month or $35 a month if you join for the whole year, which I highly recommend because it's cheaper. You get all the benefits of the squad for the entire year whenever you're triggered. The Q&A forum, the Mentor Mondays, going live with me, answering your questions, etc., and all the other courses. And the newest one, we're going to be dropping a hint on Monday about what it is, and you're going to really want this new course coming out in the squad. It's a real hot topic at the moment in the manifestation world. And a lot of manifestation coaches, in fact, almost all are getting it wrong. And I teach you how to do it right. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Let me see if I have any success stories here, because I don't do questions. What's this? Whenever I watch a live, you always put me back on track. Can you go live every day, please, Loz? Oh, Suze. Well, I used to. Remember I used to go live every day? I can't now because I have 14 staff and a squad to run. And it's just, I can't. But there's like 3,000 videos on my YouTube to watch, guys. If you ever want to watch those lives back, I used to go live twice a day when I wasn't charging any money for 2 years. 100% works. That's how I got my SP back, by listening to Loz. Ah, Crystal. Hooray, darling. Hooray. Yes, you did. Loz, you are honestly the best. Oh, thank you, darling. Been working on my self-concept for 1 week. 3 X's have popped up since. Now waiting for the SP. Ah, wonderful. They'll be there. I can listen to you all day. Oh, thank you, guys. Trust the unseen. Yes, guys. Trust the unseen. You can't see it yet. You just got to trust. You got to trust. So in this circumstance that I was in, I had to trust that it would all work out because the alternative was not good. You don't do anything in the 3D. Just do it in your mind and trust it to come about. Exactly, Shelley. Exactly. All right, guys. If you really don't understand this, if you don't understand the basics and you don't want to come and join the squad, you can just get my free course called Everything You've Learned About Manifesting is Wrong. I'll point to it here on YouTube so you can, when you watch this back on YouTube, you'll know where to find it. It's at subconsciouslaws.com. It's just on the homepage, and it really makes you understand awareness and trusting in your own power and what your power even is, the power of your subconscious mind. All right, guys? So thank you so much for joining me. If you are watching this back on YouTube, and I will post it in a few days' time or maybe even tomorrow, please make sure you subscribe to my Subconscious Loz YouTube channel. There's so many replays there to watch, so many live replays, my Loz lessons like this. There's guided meditations, sleep tapes that go for 8 hours, sinking into your subconscious mind overnight. There's affirmation tapes. There's so many lessons over there and tapes for you to use, audio tapes or like nighttime tapes. And also there is my Instagram where we drop daily stories every day to really help you. And there's also my free Facebook group, Subconscious Laws, and also my squad where Don't Be a Triggered Bitch is right now, and it will be there till the end of October. All right, guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.